Recently I was thinking about the rovers, Curiosity and Perseverance. Of course, there were the ones prior to that. But Curiosity was extremely successful. I mean, it not only outlasted its life, it sent us thousands of pictures, and there's all sorts of data that it sent back. And then Perseverance is up there to do the same thing, right? Looking for the past and present life. And of course, we all know that's a silly notion because they know damn well what's up there in our solar system and everywhere else for that matter. And that got me to thinking. I thought about that, that information dump that never happened. The about the UFOs and there was going to be a big deal telling us what's going on and all of that, and really they didn't tell us anything. And this secrecy thing now has been going on for what, 60, 75 years, something like that. And whether they tell us now or in 25 years or in 50 years, we're still the same people. Everything's the same. Nothing's different. We might know a little bit more, but that's about it. And, well, they're never going to tell us. They're never going to tell us what's up there. Ever. Looking up at the top here where that little red line is at the top is one of those batches of rows that create the layered look here. And this one on top, the very, very top layered area there, is under construction. So there are rows and rows that come down, and they're about to turn the corner, and they stop abruptly, and they are, in the process of putting this area together. More and more as I go on, I find areas of construction where it's obvious something's going on there, just like this picture here. This row of structures coming around just stops right there. And underneath it, pretty much in dead center right there, you can see a couple rows of some very large or larger dark buildings that are going to be covered up. And this just gives you a little bit of an idea of how they put these types of things together. I mean, obviously it's a construction marvel that they're doing here, so it would behoove us to pay attention. But anyway, this just gives us a little bit of an insight in how this stuff goes together. So yeah, they're never going to tell us whether it's the governments of the world or if somebody else is pulling the strings. There's no intention on ever telling us what's going on. So what that means is that they're stalling, right? They're buying time. They give us little tidbits. They keep our interest piqued somewhat here and there for some people. Most people just seem to go through life oblivious to anything else other than going to the grocery store and going to work and cooking dinner and taking care of the kids. As far as what's going on in the world or around the world, people don't know. They just don't have a clue. And it's always been that way, I guess. You're just interested in what you have to do to get through your day-to-day life. It'd be nice to think that once in a while a person could sit down after work and enrich their mind with some of the science going on. Might give you an idea a little bit more about what's really going on in the world. This layering here is really incredible. Recently did a video on a similar area which they called Becquerel layering, which is a type of mud, I guess, or a mud layering. And it's pretty obvious that it's not mud. And however, just as usual, when you look at the satellite picture, it does look entirely normal. Just like what you would expect to see of some kind of mud layering. But as usual, You know, you come in close, it's pretty obviously not that. And you can really see, really gives you a great look at the sides. So you're looking into the side of this layering construction. And another thing I was thinking about when I was looking at these pictures, you know, there are several of these rows, these built up layered areas here in this satellite image. And each one of these layered areas has somewhere in the neighborhood of, you know, 8 to 10 or maybe 12 layers. They probably average around 10 layers. And so if you took all these layers and built them all out to the edge from the very first one, you would have, if you're averaging about 10 layers, and if there's around 10 or so of these layered areas in this satellite image, and you stack all of those on top of each other, and you have about roughly 100 layers. Okay? And how tall is one layer? I mean, one layer is not one story. Each layer is several stories, no doubt. You know, I don't know how many it would be. It's hard to tell, but each layer is consisted of buildings, and those buildings are, you know, who knows? It's really hard to say. 6, 8, 10 stories? They're not that big. But you stack them on top of each other, and all of a sudden you have, you know, many hundreds of stories. So this will one day be one exceptionally thick mat of structures. It makes me think of Venus, how that planet is completely covered with a mat, and how thick is the mat on Venus. You know, that's a real question. And Mars is on its way. They'll be there soon. It's a whole lot of people here, and there's a lot more coming. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you soon.